Everyone, Dylan 13 here, and, well, SummerSlam time happened. My god, this was a long 6 hours. I don't mean that in a bad way, though. It was a pretty decent match. Pretty decent matches, sometimes. Things that confused me, that pissed me off, made me laugh. I had a decent time watching this, and I didn't watch it alone. Like I said last night, if you actually saw this video, I was watching the live reaction of the Team 4-Star guys, or Lanny Pator and Takahata 101 in their group chat while I was watching myself. And honestly, that was probably the best way for me to watch this, because if I watched it by myself, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. Save for the last match, but we'll get to that. First thing that I can talk about are the 3 pre-show matches. One of which I understand it was in the pre-show, and the other 2, I wish they would have switched out for 2 other matches that really didn't matter in the grand scheme, because nothing happened out of them. The one that I actually understand was on the pre-show, but I'm also a little pissed off about because it meant that we didn't have one of the belts on the main show, was Jason Jordan and the Hardy Boys versus The Miz and The Miztourage. Because of them putting this match on the pre-show, we didn't have an IC title match this year, or this pay-per-view, which this is your second biggest pay-per-view of the year. Have all the belts on. Like, I know there are 4 per brand, but there were 2 matches they could have taken out of this that switched with the other 2, the other 2 matches that had belts that could have been on the pre-show, and no one would have cared. In fact, it would have made the show more interesting. Make it feel like a New Japan match per se, because if all the belts. If you're saying that these 2 belts are not equal in terms of your booking, then why the hell should we care about them? Because the IC belt is actually one of the most prestigious belts in the WWE, and they're treating it like shit, which is really bad. But yeah, The Miz and The Miztourage won. So not only do I have that to complain about, but I also have to complain the Hardys lost on a major pay-per-view. And yes, I know they're going to. That's I don't care. That's still a bad thing. Then we had the Akira Tozawa versus Neville, which again, another match that could have been on the main roster, on the main show. They gave it to us for free. Not entirely sure why. They could have had cut out again. I'll talk to them about them more later. This one is the only one I'm not entirely pissed off about, that they didn't have it on the main roster. I mean, I get why they didn't have it on the main roster, because 205 Live is not doing as well as they thought it should, which I get. I get exactly why it's not doing as well as they thought it should. Because they're not promoting it the way they should. There are 3 things that are hurting 205 Live right now. The matches are not given the proper time that they should be given. The crowd is dead because they always put it after SmackDown. So after a 2-hour live show, where the audience is pretty much hardwired to give all their energy to, the crowd is drained. And 3, they could use this to give a 3rd hour to SmackDown, and no one would care. If they made this the 3rd hour of SmackDown, where 205 Live turned into the 3rd hour of SmackDown, or the 1st hour of SmackDown, and they actually put it on network, there would be a lot more people watching it. Akira Tozawa won had the belts. and Neville got it back. Again, 50-50 booking, so they're probably going to have a rematch again. This is going to be like either that or something is going to happen. I'm not entirely sure. I don't really care at this point, like I said. Excuse me. But yeah, like this was an okay match. The problem I find with the cruiserweights is that they don't wrestle like cruiserweights should. They don't do high flying maneuvers. They're not doing insane flips or acrobatics, which I'm not saying that they should all do that, but especially these two who are known for being flyers, let them be flyers. Just let them do it. So Neville won. Okay, we're fine. I'm fine with that. Then we have the final match for the pre-show. And I do realize that I'm taking a lot of time with this. I've taken a lot of time to get to this point, but I have a lot to say. It's always been the way I am. So, we have the Usos versus the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. This is the match that is inexcusable for WWE to give to us for free. I watched this match on YouTube. That should not happen. Especially for the New Day, who, need I remind everybody that's watching this video that just 6 months ago, or 4 months ago, whatever it was, back in April, they were headlining They were the hosts of WrestleMania. They were the biggest draw. They are the biggest draw in your company, and you're putting their match for the championship belts on the pre-show. The match was fantastic. The match was a good 20-30 minutes of solid wrestling by the four guys, and it should have been on the main show. Especially considering what we had for the start of the actual show. Now, I'm not going to knock John Cena. I like John Cena. He, to this day, is responsible for my favorite match of all time, or my favorite WWE match of all time, in his match against AJ at the Rumble. However, Cena buried Baron Corbin. He made the Deep Six look weak. And I'll give him this. Cena broke his curse, basically. Ever since he buried the Nexus, they did not let him live that down. He lost every SummerSlam since that match. Until today. So I think, or like I said, it was a decent start to a pay-per-view. If I just tuned in to see that, or if I just got in my seat when I was at this pay-per-view, I wouldn't have been complaining. I'll say that too. The Barclays Center, something went wrong with them, because holy crap, the first match there was no one in, and it was empty. I've heard a couple rumors about why. Like, we were talking about it, or in the group chat I was in, and it was like, one of the rumors was, the internet went, or like it was the same thing that happened at WrestleMania 2000, or the Dallas, where the internet kind of went haywire, and they really couldn't get anyone into the building. And then I haven't heard. It was only a rumor that was said. But if it is true, it's both sad and funny as hell that WWE or representatives were at the front gate, and they were making anybody with a Bullet Club shirt, change their shirt inside out. If that is indeed the case, that is hilarious to me, because if you actually look at Bullet Club shirts, 1 in 3 wrestling fans owns a Bullet Club shirt or is going to buy a Bullet Club shirt. They are the most popular or faction in the world. And WWE is pissed off that they don't have access to them. Yeah, sure, they have Balor Club. Sure, they have the Club and Gallows and Anderson, but they don't have Bullet Club, and they want Bullet Club. So that said, like I said, if I just got into the arena and I saw this as my first match of the night, I'd be okay with it. You know what? That's fine. Second match was, if I got the order wrong, I apologize, but I believe the second match was the SmackDown Women's title, which pit Naomi versus Natalya. Natalya won. Good for her. She is one of the greatest women wrestlers, or women's division wrestlers in WWE history. She deserves everything she's getting. Not much more to be said other than I'm gonna miss seeing the glow dance every time that Naomi comes out with that title. Unless she still does it, which who knows. Then we had the one match that they could have cut or put it on switch to the pre-show with the New Day, and no one would have cared. And that was Enzo Amore tied up in a shark cage while Big Cass and Big Show fought. And the funny thing was that while they were reacting, they were like, you know what would have been a better stipulation? Whoever won this match could still call themselves Big. So if Cass would just have to be called Cass, or Show would just have to be called Show, and Show would just probably retire at that point anyway because he's Big Show. He doesn't really need any of this shit anymore. So yeah, that would have made it a funny way of doing the stipulation. But nope, Enzo in a shark cage. Led to a funny spot where Enzo actually somehow snuck what looked like baby oil and oiled himself up to sneak through the cage and try to jump onto Cass. That was a pretty funny spot. Cass won. Yay, I guess. And then after that, we had a second match that really no one gave a shit about. Randy Orton versus Rusev. Randy won. I'm not giving it any more time than that because honestly, if I give more time to this match than that, I'll probably give him as much time as the actual match itself. So the next match was Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. This was the first match I was actually really excited for because the Demon reared his head out again. We had Demon Balor versus Bray Wyatt. This match was amazing, and no one left that, or if this was the main event, no one would have left disappointed. Finn won, but I don't think this feud is over. The entrances was really cool too. I'm just gonna say that. I'm a sucker every time the Bray Wyatt comes out, and I'm a sucker for the Demon King entrance. This Finn Balor's entrance in general. Then we had the Raw women's title match. Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks. was a great match. The one thing that held back both women's matches to me was the amazing match we had last night with Asuka and Ember Moon, who pretty much stole the show last night, stole the show for today also, save for the end again, which I'll get to. Great match. And Sasha Banks is your WWE Women's Raw Champion once again. It feels just right saying that. The next match was AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens with Shane McMahon as a special guest referee. Before that, we had a funny little promo backstage with Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan meeting for really the first time since Kurt became GM, and they traded off their catchphrases with each other, where Daniel said something along the lines of, "I think that SmackDown Live is going to annihilate Raw, as they always do, because it's true, it's damn true." And Kurt retaliates with, "Well, you know what, Daniel? I don't think you're right. I think that although SmackDown has the world appeal, or world appeal from all over the world, or something like that, or Raw has universal appeal. And you know what I say to that? Yes." And he actually got Daniel to do the no chant for the first time in years. It was beautiful. So, like I said, we had AJ Styles, Shane O'Mac, and Kevin Owens in the ring. You knew shenanigans was going to ensue. Shane, surprisingly, it was not that bad of a finish. But Kevin Owens lost. AJ retained his title. One of only two titles that didn't change hands, or three titles that didn't change hands. The last three titles didn't change hands. Sorry. I thought we would get one last title change with Shinsuke Nakamura. I thought we'd get a good match with Shinsuke Nakamura. I didn't think it was physically possible for there to be a bad match with Shinsuke Nakamura. Then Jinder Mahal showed me there is a possibility of a bad match between Shinsuke Nakamura. My God. I see why now that Triple H is pissed off at how Vince McMahon has been handling the guy he bred to be in it, or to be in WWE from NXT. They let the best talent they have lose. I have no idea why. I have no idea what they're thinking, what their strategy is. But it is what it is. Shinsuke's gonna get that title. Doesn't matter if it's now, Tuesday. Doesn't matter if it's WrestleMania against AJ Styles, which a lot of people are saying it might be. But a lot of people were pissed off, rightfully so, because it's Shinsuke. And I can 100% see why. But then the last match happened. And in the last match, you can already tell from my voice, I am excited to talk about this last match because I didn't think I would like it. Of Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar, and Roman Reigns, there are two of those wrestlers, the last two I mentioned, in fact, I absolutely cannot stand. But then the match happened. And things got thrown around. Braun lifts up Brock Lesnar, puts him through not one, but two tables. And then, for added measure, lifts up the third announce table, and sandwiches Brock Lesnar between the second announce table that he already put him through, and a non or and a, another announce table. And then he throws a chair at Roman Reigns again because we didn't get enough of that from the last time. Brock Lesnar he looked like he was actually legit hurt, and even if he wasn't, Paul Heyman, the best hype man in the freaking universe, the best manager in WWE history, he was acting like Brock Lesnar was killed. He was acting like someone killed their. He was acting like you killed his dog in front of him. He was just there like, no, Brock, no. It was so beautiful. And then to continue, after they wheeled out Brock Lesnar on a stretcher, which is words I never thought would come out of my mouth, Braun continues. He takes off the steel steps and proceeds to beat Roman and Joe with the steel steps. Throws the steel steps into the ring like they're nothing but a folding chair. And he continues, or like the carnage continues. Like Roman tries to hit him. He just bats him with the chair again. Joe comes up from behind, hits him with a move. Braun throws him out of the ring again. Somehow they Roman and Joe team up together, get Braun out of the ring, and they start fighting because they realize, yeah, we don't like each other, but we need to get rid of this guy who actually does all the shit that we don't want him to do, and we're going to do that. Roman tries to hits Joe with a Samoan drop, tries to get the pin. Braun comes back. Braun gets hit by I think 2 Superman punches and a spear, and kicks out. Before he can get to 3, Joe hits Roman. Brock comes back out like they have officials telling him to go back to the back of the room or the back of the arena. Braun comes back in, suplexes both Roman and Joe, tries to suplex Braun. Braun hits him across the ring. I could go on and on. Like I could spot call everything that happened. This was a fantastic match. This was a absolutely glorious match. The ending, I'm not even sad about the ending. Brock Lesnar Brock Lesnar's put in the coquina clutch by Joe. Roman kicks Joe off. Roman gets put into an F5 by Brock. Brock wins clean on Roman Reigns. Brock Lesnar might be going to he actually might be going to UFC if he goes at all, with the Universal Championship belt. As saying that out loud, something I never thought I'd say out loud, mind you. What the fuck is going on? I don't know, but I loved it. This match, go watch it. It is probably the funniest, not intentionally funny matches I have ever seen. Just the amount, the joke that I think it was Taka that made it. That at this halfway through the match, it's yeah, Vince is not even at gorilla position. He's in his private dressing room with a bottle of lotion, going. No one was pissed off at the finish. I mean, at least not that no one on our little chat was pissed off on the finish. Like, a lot of people were pissed off at the finish from what I saw. But you know what? It wasn't Roman, and that's what I'll say. It wasn't Roman Reigns. It was retaining Brock Lesnar, yes. It was retaining Brock Lesnar, yes, but you know what? I can deal with it. It's okay. We'll see where we go with it. They have a year left on his contract, and they'll probably take it off him then. And that's where I'll end things today. Now, before I get off, I'd like to wish everybody stay safe tomorrow during the eclipse. Remember that your pets are also vulnerable to the effects of the sun and everything. Do not let your dog or cat look straight up at the eclipse. It will hurt their eyes as bad as yours. Be safe. Have fun. I might see you tomorrow with a Raw retrospective because things are gonna happen. So I'll try to see if I can watch it live. If I can, I'll put a video out. If not, it's been Doing 13. Later.